Hello, good morning, everyone. This is Sam. I'm the author of AFL the Bastard, and yes, I am apparently wearing this. Uh, First of all, this is not, I am 100%, I'm not a sports fan, but go Cavaliers all the way. It's just like, this is like a wine red Cleveland Cavaliers basketball shirt, or like just a shirt with the CLE on it, always from 20 2016. And then this is like this LL Bean thing that I have like 10,000 of. But the last post that I had was me talking about paid subscriptions and what that might look like. So I wanted to, since we've got few new subscribers here, I wanted to make sure that, excuse me, I'm sorry, we're balancing this out with some content, right? So chapter three is coming up. Chapters one and two are published, so we've got about a total of about 16,000 words. Chapter three in total put it will put us definitely well over 20,000. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to put this out there so that people can kind of just get a snippet of chapter three. This is the first part of chapter three. We're just kind of going to like start going through it, right? In smaller chunks because chapter three is turning into a bigger kind of thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and start without waiting for the whole post, like whole thing to go. So we're going to meet some new characters up in here, but it's already live on all media. But so snippets, chapter three. As I begin putting the final edits on chapter three, I wanted to start a series called Snippets, brief selections from the chapter ahead. When we last left AFL, he had just nearly died in a duel. On his trusty horse, Echo's back. He's only just made his way back to his men. Slumped forward in a daze, AFL woke to men shouting his name. Though he heard the men calling out to him, such were the depths of AFL's woe that he didn't even bother answering them. He only dimly comprehended they were calling at all. His mind was seeming to leave him, and he felt very light throughout all his limbs. And that part of AFL that could comprehend that these voices sought him wanted to never face these men again. He hated to sleep, but now he yearned more than anything for that smooth, black oblivion that took away all the cares that burdened him. Sleep was the Elysian of pain. Over the past week, the men under his leadership had failed so thoroughly to contain a brazen attack on a vassal state that 3 towns were burned and dozens killed, all innocents, some children. The men that did it had slipped through his grasp. He had only barely been able to track down one of them, and even that one had shared nothing about their origins. Dazed as AFL was, he nonetheless remembered that his attacker had said something just before the man expired. Rather, it was something the man had tried to say. Speaking was far harder when the voice had to find its way around a dagger through the neck. Fa, wu, allow, What were those words? The man had said something, but the knife in his neck, as tends to happen, made speech difficult. And just then, AFL passed into the grasp of his men. My lord, thank God you're all right, someone said. Lord Marshal, you cannot run off like that, said another. Unprotected, Lord, my lord, you're bleeding. Someone grabbed Echo's reins a bit too hard, and she jerked. AFL tried to bat the man's hand off. Come with us, Lord AFL, said one of the men. Give him space to breathe. Stand back, said another voice. Make space for the Earl of Darren. Lord, Marshal, Earl, Darren, and AFL. He had so many names. Where were you, Castleton? Asked someone in a rage. Aren't you his squire? AFL had hands all over him. I chased after him the same as you did, my lord, said Castleton. Many arms grabbed at him and attempted to convey him from Echo. They were out of the forest now. It was wide and open field. His leg has fast lost its blood, said a man. There were so many men around now, far more than the few who had brought him out of the forest. It was an encampment. An army was mobilizing. The knights, men-at-arms, and soldiers watched ASL being carried in on the white horse. Some came over to help. Some walked along with the little troop. Most merely gawked. Hundreds of soldiers and horsemen moved in formation off to his right. You're supposed to be nearer to him than his very sword, said the enraged man to Castleton. Someone brought forth a stretcher. Have the bleeding at the leg stopped, lest Lord Aethel lose it. Now he floated off his savior, Echobella the Blue, his white horse, who was now streaked with her rider's blood. Aethel moaned to get back to her. What saith he? Said someone. I think he hath not his faculties about him, lord, said another. 4 sets of arms got Aethel off Echo, and he walked, with all of their 8 legs, to the stretcher, like an insect, and laid him down upon the bands that wove together its back. All right,